Annyeonghaseyo! So we are back and today we'll be talking about parabola, its equation, and its graph. Let's start with example number 1. So we have the given vertex at 0, 0 and focus at -2, 0. Okay, so for example, this is the Cartesian coordinate plane and we know that 0, 0 is the origin, so that is located here in the intersection of the x and y axis. So we have -2, 0 on the left side. This is the negative x-axis. So this is your focus and this is your vertex. Now let's have a rough sketch. Remember that during the definition, we mentioned that the focus is inside the curve of the parabola. So we have roughly the graph will open to the left. So right here it opens to the left. Okay, based on the given, the vertex and the focus, we can also identify the value of C. What is the value of C? Even without graphing, we may just look at the distance from 0, 0 to -2, 0, and that is 2. So we have here C is equal to 2. Later on, we'll be needing the value of 2C. So let's write that 2C is 2 times 2, that is 4. And finally, we'll also be needing 4C. So 4C is 4 times 2, that is 8. Okay, now, the opening of the graph dictates the equation that we will be using for this parabola. So we have opens to the left, and we'll be taking the form the quantity of y minus k squared equals, since it opens to the left, we'll use negative, so negative 4c. Negative 4c times the quantity of x minus h. So this is the equation for a graph of the parabola that opens to the left. Since we already have the equation, so what we'll do is just substitute. So we know that h and k is actually are actually the coordinates of the vertex. So we have h equals 0 and k equals 0. Let's substitute. We have here y minus 0, the quantity of y minus 0 squared equals negative 4c. So we have 4c is equal to 8. But again, since it opens to the left, we take the negative. So we have negative 8 times the quantity of x minus, again, h is 0. So minus 0. Simplify, we have y minus 0, which is y squared, equals negative 8. X minus 0 is x, so we have negative 8 times x, negative 8x. And this will be the final answer. The equation of the given parabola is y squared equals negative 8x. Okay, so let's now proceed with example number 2. We have the given, the Directrix line, which is y minus 6 equals 0, and then the vertex at 0, 5. So first, since we already have this 2, we can actually have an idea of what the graph looks like. Now, remember that the Directrix line is described as a line outside the curve of the parabola. So let's sketch the graph. This is just a rough sketch. So we have 0, 5 as the vertex that is on the, or at the positive y-axis. And then the Directrix is y minus 6 equals 0. Remember, this can be rewritten as y equals 6. That means to say 0, 6 is the point of intersection of the Directrix line on the y-axis. So it's here. Okay, so outside the curve, therefore, the graph opens downward. So let's write that here. Opens downward. I've mentioned a while ago that the equation that we're going to use depends on the opening of the graph. So a while ago we had a graph opening to the left. This time it opens downward. So we use another equation or another form of equation this time, that is x minus h, or the quantity of x minus h squared equals, it opens downward, so it's still negative. Left and down are both negative for c. So we write here negative 4c, and then y minus k, or the quantity of y minus k. So we take this form of the equation, the quantity of x minus h squared equals negative 4c, since it opens downward, times the quantity of y minus k. And then let's substitute. Again, hk is the vertex. So h is 0, k is 5. Substitute x minus 0, quantity of x minus 0 squared equals negative 4c. So the distance from the vertex to the point of intersection of the directrix line is 1. Therefore, c is equal to 1. Okay, so we write 4c is equal to 4. Negative 4c, of course, is negative 4. So we write here negative 4 times y minus, going back to the vertex, k is equal to 5. So we write y minus 5. And then simplify. The quantity of x minus 0 squared. X minus 0 is x. So we write here x squared equals negative 4 times the quantity of y minus 5. So that's it. That is our equation of the parabola. We have x squared equals negative 4 times the quantity of y minus 5. Okay, so for the last example, this is example number 3, we have the given vertex at 1, negative 4, and LR sub 1, which is an endpoint of the latus rectum, is at 2, negative 2. Going back to the definition, the latus rectum will intersect the focus, which we know the focus is inside the curve of the parabola. Therefore, the graph opens to the right. Okay, let's have it here. Opens to the right. To illustrate, let's plot the points. So we have 1, negative 4 as the vertex. We have 1, negative 4 on the, or at the 4th quadrant. That is here. Say it's negative 4 here, and this is 1. So this is the vertex. And LR sub 1, 2, negative 2 is also at the 4th quadrant. So let's say it's 2, negative 2. So that's here. So if we draw the curve, the focal point will be intersecting here. So the graph opens to the right. Okay? Okay, now let's find the value of C. How do you find the value of C if the given is the vertex in one of the endpoints of the latus rectum? Again, we mentioned that it could be the distance from the vertex to the focal point. Since this will intersect the focal point from 1 to 2, the distance is 1. So that is the value of C. So we have C equals 1, and then 4C, so that we could substitute later. 4C is 4 times 1, that is 4. Since it opens to the right, that's the opposite of left, we'll take the form quantity of y minus k squared equals positive. The opposite of negative is positive. So 4c times the quantity of x minus h. And then just substitute. We have hk, that is the vertex, hk. So h is 1, k is negative 4. We'll have here y minus negative 4 squared. The quantity of y minus negative 4 squared equals 4c is 4. So that's positive because it opens to the right. Same goes with opens upward. That is also positive. But again, another form of the equation. So let's discuss that later. This is 4 times the quantity of x minus h. H is 1. So we have quantity of x minus 1. And then simplify. Y minus negative 4, when we subtract, we have to change the sign of the subtrahend and proceed to addition, or minus negative, take it as plus. Y plus 4. The quantity of y plus 4 squared equals 4 times the quantity of x minus 1. So that will be our final answer for the last example. Example number 3, the equation of the parabola is the quantity of y plus 4 squared equals 4 times the quantity of x minus 1.